Good morning and welcome to your Farm and Home Show. My name is Joanna and this morning we're visiting with Kristin Hildabrand, Warren County Extension Agent for Horticulture. Today we're going to talk a little bit more about asparagus.
So it's really important to get your soil test results back, ahead of time. Again, with this being a perennial crop that's hopefully going to last for 15, 20 years, we want to make sure that we get all that right in the beginning rather than later on. And you can always monitor that every year so that way you can kind of get a better idea of what you need for your soil type. But like I mentioned, March is an ideal time for planting. One of the things that you want to look at before you get ready to actually plant this asparagus crowns is that you want to make sure that the soil is gotten up to about 50 degrees or higher. The Kentucky Mesonet site is a great tool that a lot of gardeners can use to kind of check that to see if that is being provided at that time. But that's really crucial for planting. You do want to make sure that you prep that soil, get it nice and loosened up, incorporate any of your soil recommendations that we give you for N, P, and K. Generally, phosphorus is needed. You can kind of scatter it. We recommend that you dig a trench, and we want the trench to be about 6 to 8 inches deep. And what you want to do is you want to take those crowns that you have already gotten. You do want to inspect those to make sure that they're healthy looking. Again, a white root system is really what you're looking for to kind of indicate a real healthy plant. If you see any brown discoloration on the feeder roots there, sometimes if you cut into them and you see any kind of brown discoloration, then it's probably a good indication that it's got fusarium wilt. So you might want to, kind of put that one off to the side. The one thing that you want to do is you want to group the crowns together. And what you're doing there is you're kind of looking at size. So kind of group them according to the sizes so that way the larger ones aren't competing against the smaller crowns. And that way that'll help you kind of get a better idea, especially when you go in to position these in your trench. Now, after you've done that, you can go ahead and plant about, if you've got multiples in the row, about 16 to 18 inches apart. You do want to make sure that the crowns are spread out evenly. And what you want to do, if you've got multiple rows, you can space those, again, about 5 to 6 feet apart. We do recommend that whenever you pull back the soil, that you do that about 2 to 4 inches. And then as the developing spears kind of come up, as it grows throughout the season, then you can add more to it. The thing that we do get a lot of questions about is harvesting. So if you start with 1-year-old crowns, again, you're getting a little bit of a head start versus, if it was a lot younger than that. So generally that second year, you can actually harvest for about 2 weeks. Usually it's just whenever the spears get about 6 to 8 inches above, we recommend that you just kind of pinch it off at that growing point instead of using kind of some scissors, because sometimes you'll kind of get into that crown. And then as you get to the 3rd year, the 4th year, you can harvest a little bit more. So usually it's 2 weeks, then it goes into 4 weeks, usually 6 to 8 weeks in the 3rd year developing. But it's really important whenever you take care of your asparagus that you make sure it's got plenty of water. It's really crucial after you plant that you provide enough water, at least an inch of rainfall a week. We always recommend that you do kind of a finger test to kind of feel around the soil, around the roots anyway in the soil, to kind of see if there's needed moisture there. You can always use mulch. We always recommend about a 2-inch layer of mulch to kind of help hold in that moisture, especially if you're looking at a raised bed type situation. And then lastly, weeds and pests and other diseases. So weeds, we have a lot of problems with it being a perennial crop with asparagus, with like Johnson grass and also Bermuda grass. So it's really important to kind of keep ahead of the weeds if at all possible. So hand pulling, again, mulching will also help with that. You can also use like a pre-emergent Preen type product, but all of that's really going to help out, especially as those spears develop. We don't recommend that you cut off the ferns until like earlier on. You keep that unless you have a disease outbreak or something like that. But definitely be on the lookout for some of that asparagus beetle and also fusarium wilt. Those seem to be the 2 #1 causes.
Thanks for watching the Farm and Home Show. We hope you have a great day.